Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. You know what, I had an intro all set for you guys, and the reason why it looks like a Dexter episode on my table right there is because I scraped the first one. Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't love it. It was way too busy for me. And so we're going to go in for round two. This is a 16-inch round. And this first color going in is LP Syrah. Next, this is Permanent Blue Violet by Amsterdam. This is going to be just a little tiny hint what I have left of Bordeaux Red by Arteza. This is kind of perfect though because I really just wanted a tiny little bit to tint the cloud. So we are going to scrape that out really well. And don't worry, all that paint I scraped up, I'm going to use it again. Next is my Vallejo Pearl Medium and Artist Loft Soft Body Cloud Mix. You want to put a good amount of that in. Next, this is actually Mauve by Lucas, and that color is actually thinned down a little bit because it is supposed to be for my base layer, but just using a tiny little bit of it to tint the cloud is okay in this instance, to be a little thinner. This color is going to be Burnt Syrah by this Little Piggy. Right now, I'm checking everything out. I'm like, oh gosh, how much paint do I have left? And, you know, how I want the layers to go. Definitely more of a minimal color palette, not so many colors. So since that was a pigment, the last color, I do not want to really place that by the cloud layer. I just don't love doing that. So I'm scraping out the remaining Bordeaux Red. And even though it's literally just like a little dot of it, that's fine. And then I'm going to put a tiny bit more of that thinned down mauve that I'm just using because I need paint to fill this cup. That is going to be my cloud mix again. And then we're going to go back to the Permanent Blue Violet by Amsterdam. Then we're going to go in. This is actually Bloodstone by this Little Piggy. And then we are going to finish with the Permanent Blue Violet. So yeah, you guys, that first one, I had so many colors mixed up and I wanted to use them all, but you know, sometimes I want to break my own rules of using more of a minimal color palette the smaller your canvas. And this isn't a tiny canvas by any means, but the first one just was messy, too much going on. I wanted more of a simple, dark center look. And so that's why I scraped it. Yeah, just wasn't happy with it. So here we go, pouring out the cup. Definitely low and slow. I think sometimes you might not realize how actually close to the canvas I am. And on the next videos that I record, I'm going to give you a little different vantage point. But right here, I'm really loving that dark center. I really didn't want to do any twisting. I wanted to keep it simple. I really wanted kind of that angel wing look and just nice and dark. And so I'm going to shut up and let you guys watch. But just remember, when you're pouring out your cup, take your time. Take your time. Now in the center here too, I'm going to do a little ring pour just to kind of finish it off, but that's right at the end. So low and slow, take your time, breathe, don't lock your knees, don't be in a rush. You know, if you want these lines to hold and you're doing this thicker style of cloud pour, you're going to have some patience. So, all right, guys, I will be back shortly. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and come back and talk to you guys because this video isn't too long. But you know what I'm doing right here is, well, I'm looking at the composition. I stayed in the center, which I really loved. And as you can see, there's already crazy, bubbly, cloudy cells developing. And so because I actually stayed in the center this time, you know, I love that composition. I really just want to stretch this out. So in the beginning, after I pour out the cup, I'll let it sit and develop for a hot minute, and then I'll usually torch it. And then I'll just kind of, sometimes I'll take the paint and take it around in a round motion around the canvas. But in this case, I didn't want to skew anything to the side. So I just kind of tilted the paint lightly back and forth just to kind of help those clouds develop. So yeah, right now I'm spinning things off. And you know, it's interesting because I used one thin color. I do not recommend this, you guys. I don't recommend using really thick consistencies and then one paint is thin consistency because it can throw your whole painting off. You can get jagged lines. You really want your consistencies to be the same across the board. But because I was running out of paint, that mauve color, I actually added just a tiny bit, tiny bit right next to the cloud layer. So it would, you know, tint the clouds. And you can see up near the top where I'm getting all those bubbly, well, I guess now it's closer to the bottom of the screen. I'm getting those heavier purple, opaque, three-dimensional translucent clouds. But then below that, I'm getting these like raspberry clouds that are even more translucent. There's a lot more things going on. They're glowing. I absolutely love the glow effect. That is usually what I go for. But yeah, it definitely caused a little bit more of a reaction there. So keep that in mind. You know, if you have a paint that you're like, oh gosh, this is really thin compared to my other ones, maybe you thinned it down for something else, just use a tiny little bit right beside the cloud in your cup. And just once. Oh, I'm outside. Hold, please. Sorry about that, you guys. You might hear my dogs. I'm actually out on my porch right now because it's such a lovely morning. Doing the voiceover for this video. And so right now, I'm just kind of checking it out, making sure that I have enough paint off of this canvas. And I know I usually forget, and some of you guys ask me about it. I'm really, really, really going to make sure to put in the description box how I calculate paint needed for a round canvas. It's just a little formula that I found online because I am not a math person. I am not a number person. I'm terrible at it. If you need numbers crunched or anything calculated, that's my husband's job. That's not my job. I'm terrible at it. But there is a little easy plug-in kind of formula you can use to get the amount of paint needed for a round. And that being said, because this is thicker paint, I always add a little bit more than what comes out, the calculation. So yeah, right now, guys, again, I'm just looking at it going, gosh, there's a lot going on. But I love this piece. I mean, it's three-dimensional. The center, that center right there, is actually Syrah. And you have to remember when you use pigments that, you know, sometimes when they pour out of the cup, they're a little dulled, or they don't look like how they're going to look when they're dry, if that makes sense. they will perk up. This Syrah is going to dry beautifully. And this piece is still drying because I left a lot of paint on this canvas, but that's only because I have excellent drying conditions. So here we go. These are the details. Oh, look at these pigments. This is like so autumnal. I love all the lines. I'm not a pink fan, but I am a mauve fan. But look at this. Where that mauve, that little bit, it's thinner paint, that mauve right beside the cloud. And I've done this before, but like I said, sparingly. Sparingly, sparingly, sparingly. But the clouds, cloudy cells, the clouded bits, this one's different. But it has the classic dark three-dimensional center that I love. There's the Syrah. So when that dries, it's going to be a gorgeous wine color. Yummy purple clouds. Definitely a lot of translucency with this. This one's done, you guys. Here's some details, but let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. All right, guys. Bye.